Good day, everyone. I'm Stephanie Clary K. Pahulas, and for today, we are going to tackle distance learning. So, distance learning is also known as distance education, e-learning, and online education. So, in order for you to understand what is distance learning, just remember that distance learning really means you can study from home, from the library, or anywhere.
It refers to instruction and learning that are delivered remotely as a whole course or through a large portion of it, since face-to-face and in-person session between the learners and educators are limited. Technology plays a vital role in allowing distance learning to happen synchronously or asynchronously.
So, what is synchronous and asynchronous learning?
Due to digital era that we live in, we are overwhelmed by new learning technologies. All these new technologies have one thing in common. They support asynchronous learning. But wait, what is asynchronous learning and how does it compare to synchronous learning? Let us start with an explanation with the old-fashioned way. Synchronous learning refers to an event in which a group of participants is engaged in learning at the same time.
For that, they should be in the same physical location as a classroom or the same online environment such as a web conference for they can interact with the teacher and other participants. By that, there's a real interaction with other people. What are the pros or advantages of synchronous learning? First, interaction between participants. Second, exchange of knowledge and experience between participants. And third, real-time feedback from the teacher.
And now, what is asynchronous learning? Asynchronous learning happens when a teacher, the learner, and the other participants are not engaged in the learning process at the same time. So there is no real-time interaction with other people.
So what are the pros and advantages of asynchronous learning? There are many benefits of asynchronous learning.
One of these is flexibility, which allows non-traditional students to balance family, work, and school in a way that works for their schedules. This flexibility can also be beneficial to younger students with health issues that limit time and school with other needs that cannot be met in a traditional classroom but can be addressed through an online program.
The other benefits of asynchronous learning aren't obvious but nonetheless are important. First is individual pacing. By definition, asynchronous learning allows the students to design their own learning schedules. This allows learners to spend more time on challenging areas and work towards mastery instead of deadlines imposed from above. Individual pacing helps address different learning styles as well as different learning disabilities. Second is asynchronous collaboration. Using discussion boards and interactive documents editing can help students engage more deeply with the material as they communicate with each other. Asynchronous collaboration allows students to reach out for help when they need it and to work with the materials as long as needed before sharing your thoughts with others. It will lead to a richer and more personalized learning overall.
And lastly, portfolio learning. Because students don't necessarily sit for a single exam, assessment of asynchronous learning is often comprised of portfolio material demonstrating mastery. At its best, an online learning portfolio can contain a rich collection of video, presentation, and other multimedia projects that shows what they have learned in a much deeper way than a standardized test, and these projects can follow students throughout their academic career and into the real world. Upon learning about synchronous and asynchronous learning, here are the 3 things to consider before transitioning to asynchronous learning. Asynchronous learning has many benefits, but it's not without its challenges. Before adding asynchronous elements to your teaching, ponder this question to make sure your course will function well. First, how and when will you provide feedback? Regular feedback is essential to clear up misunderstandings and to offer encouragement, but not seeing your students in real time can slow the process. Second, how will you make lessons accessible and entertaining? You won't be able to shift gears when you see students are bored, so plan ways to make your lessons engaging and exciting. This requires high-quality video and presentation, which are time-consuming to provide but are very efficient. Third, how will you promote higher-order thinking? It is not always easy to plan online activities that go beyond multiple choice, quizzes, and flashcards, but organizing in their projects and practice is very crucial. And lastly, how will you divide unit into smaller lessons? Oversized modules are key to providing flexibility for asynchronous learning.
To sum it up, synchronous learning requires attendance at scheduled meetings or lectures, while asynchronous learning allows students to access materials, ask questions, and practice their skills at any time that work for them. And in this school year, which do you prefer? Synchronous, asynchronous, or a combination of both? It is for you to decide which will benefit you. That's all for today. I hope you learned something. Thank you and God bless.